Once upon a time, in a world made of crayons and glitter, lived 4 friends. There was Timmy the turtle, always with his nose in a book, Rosie the rabbit, full of energy and always hopping around, Percy the pig, who loved to eat and make others laugh. And lastly there was Fiona the fox, clever and quick as a wink. One sunny morning while playing hide-and-seek, Timmy stumbled upon a rolled-up piece of parchment. It was old and looked like a treasure map. The friends gathered around, their eyes wide with excitement. This map promised an adventure, and not just any adventure, an alphabet adventure. The first stop on the map was an apple orchard. The map said to find the biggest, reddest apple shaped like the letter A. Rosie, being the fastest, hopped through the orchard, sniffing out the perfect apple. "Aha!" she cried, holding up a big, red, A-shaped apple. "Letter A, we found you!" Next, the map led them to a blueberry bog. The challenge was to collect blueberries to form the letter B. Percy, the expert eater, knew just what to do. He carefully munched blueberries, leaving behind a perfect letter B on the ground. Section 5, the Cheesy Cave Challenge, featuring the letter C. This part of our adventure takes us deep into the heart of a mysterious cave, where the aroma of cheese fills the air and the letter C is hidden somewhere within. Are you ready to join us on this cheesy quest? The map then pointed towards a cave that smelled, well, delicious. As we approached the entrance, the scent of aged cheese wafted through the air, making our mouths water. The cave was dimly lit, with shadows dancing on the walls, creating an eerie yet inviting atmosphere. We knew we were in for a treat, both literally and figuratively. Inside, they found giant cheese wheels, and they had to find the letter C. The cave was like a labyrinth, with towering stacks of cheese wheels creating narrow pathways. Each wheel was a different type of cheese, from cheddar to Gouda, and the smell was intoxicating. We carefully navigated through the maze, our eyes peeled for any sign of the elusive letter C. Fiona, with her sharp eyes, spotted a tiny mouse nibbling on a cheese wheel shaped like the letter C. "Look," she whispered, pointing. The mouse was adorable, with its little whiskers twitching as it enjoyed its cheesy feast. It seemed to be guarding the letter C, almost as if it knew we were looking for it. Fiona's excitement was contagious, and we all gathered around to get a closer look. The mouse helped us find letter C. It was a moment of triumph as we realized that our furry friend had led us to our goal. The letter C was perfectly formed, and the mouse seemed quite proud of its discovery. We thanked the little creature and carefully took the cheese letter, knowing that this was just one part of our grand adventure. The Cheesy Cave Challenge had been a success, and we couldn't wait to see what the next part of our journey would bring. The next stop was a desert filled with donuts? Yes, you heard that right. Imagine a vast sandy expanse, but instead of just sand, there were donuts of all shapes and sizes scattered everywhere. Some were glazed, some sprinkled, and others filled with delicious creams. It was a sight to behold, and the aroma was simply irresistible. The children couldn't believe their eyes. They had never seen anything like it before. It was as if they had stepped into a dreamland where desserts ruled the land. The map said to find a donut shaped like the letter D to cross the desert. This wasn't just any ordinary map, it was a treasure map filled with clues and riddles. The children gathered around, examining every detail. The map had illustrations of various landmarks, but the most intriguing was the donut-shaped landmark. It was clear that this was their key to navigating through the desert. The children were excited but also a bit nervous. They knew they had to rely on their wits and teamwork to find this special donut. Timmy, using his knowledge from books, remembered seeing a donut with that shape. He had read about it in one of his favorite adventure stories. Timmy was always the bookworm of the group, and his love for reading often came in handy. He recalled a passage that described a magical donut shaped like the letter D, which had the power to guide travelers through treacherous terrains. His friends listened intently as he shared his memory, and they felt a renewed sense of hope. Timmy's knowledge was their beacon in this sugary desert. He guided his friends to a giant donut shaped like the letter D. It wasn't easy, as the desert was vast and filled with distractions, but Timmy's determination and keen sense of direction led them to their goal. The giant donut was even more magnificent up close. It sparkled under the sun, and its shape was perfect. The children cheered in excitement. They had found the key to their journey. This giant donut was not just a treat, it was their ticket to crossing the desert. and they used it as a boat to cross the sugary sands. The donut was surprisingly buoyant and sturdy. The children climbed aboard, and with a gentle push, they began to sail across the desert. The sugary sands sparkled like crystals, and the journey was smooth. As they sailed, they sang songs and shared stories, their spirits high. The desert, which once seemed daunting, now felt like a magical adventure. The children knew that as long as they stuck together and believed in the magic of their journey, they could overcome any obstacle. And so, with hearts full of joy and anticipation, they sailed towards their next adventure, ready for whatever awaited them. They arrived at a magnificent empire made entirely of eggplants. The challenge was to escape the eggplant empire by finding the hidden letter E. Percy, remembering his love for vegetables, spotted an eggplant shaped like the letter E used as a key to open a gate. "Hooray!" shouted Percy. "Eggplants to the rescue!" The rest of the journey was a whirlwind of flavors and fun. They slurped spaghetti for the letter S, hopped on jelly beans for the letter J, and even rode a roller coaster made of licorice for the letter R. Every letter of the alphabet was a new adventure, a new flavor, a new game. Finally, after an incredible journey, the group of friends found themselves standing at the edge of a vast, colorful field. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over everything, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. They had been on this adventure for weeks, traveling through forests, climbing mountains, and crossing rivers. Each step brought them closer to their goal, and now, they were here, at the end of the map. They reached the end of the map. The map had been their guide, filled with clues and riddles that led them through various terrains and challenges. It was not just a physical journey, but a journey of learning and discovery. Every landmark they passed had a story, and every story had a letter. They had collected these letters, one by one, and now they had the complete alphabet. They had learned all the letters of the alphabet in the most delicious and fun way possible. Along the way, they played games that tested their knowledge, solved puzzles that required them to think creatively, and even discovered letters hidden in their food. Imagine finding a B in a banana or an M in a muffin. Each discovery was a moment of joy and excitement, making the learning process incredibly engaging and memorable. To celebrate, they had a giant feast with all their favorite foods, each shaped like a letter of the alphabet. The table was a colorful display of creativity and culinary skill. There were apple slices shaped like A's, cookies shaped like C's, and even zucchini shaped like Z's. They ate, they laughed, and they shared stories of their adventure. The feast was not just a meal but a celebration of their journey and the knowledge they had gained, and they knew that learning could be the tastiest adventure of all. The friends realized that the journey was just as important as the destination. They had not only learned the alphabet but also the value of teamwork, perseverance, and curiosity. As they sat around the table enjoying their letter-shaped foods, they made a pact to continue their adventures, always seeking new knowledge and experiences. The alphabet celebration was just the beginning of many more exciting and educational journeys to come.